Good morning, YouTube. This is Charles here. We are going to do a sort with a FMS 2000 on hulled sunflowers. These are out of the shell. This is a 2015 Satake FMS 2000 color sorter, cascade feeder. And we're going to begin to set up the sort test right now. One of the things that I like to do at the beginning of any sort is to do a recalibration by holding the stop down. It wipes the eyes of the machine and it will recalibrate itself so that we can get ready to put in a new sort. So the first thing we're going to want to do is change the user level. I always work in Maker and use the code to change it. And that changes over to user maker. Then we can set up a we start with a master reflection and then a copy of master reflection, which I've already done. So we can set that up and select it. If I can get it selected right. Copy of master reflection. I'm not going to change the name of it until I'm done. I'll call it sunflowers, and then I can, well, I'll just show you how to change the name of it right now. We will select it, and then we will call it sunflower. Okay, we've done it. We'll select it. And then we're going to go to frame grabber and start taking our pictures. We will now do the frame grabber. You want single. And then push this and it will tell us that we're waiting for a trigger here in just a second. I wish these screens were a little more responsive. Sometimes it's the calluses on my fingers too. Alright, waiting for a trigger. We will now begin to drop the kernels of good seed, our accepts that we want. I am going to drop the seeds in this crack right up here. They'll slide down the chute and get a picture taken, but I've got to put you guys on the tripod for this. I am now going to drop approximately 20 kernels of the accepts, and we will go with those. You'll see now it took a picture of what we want to keep, and I wasn't ready for it there. Oh, okay. Must have timed out there. Should just keep going. There we go. And I think it timed out while I was talking to you. We are taking pictures of good hulled sunflowers. I will do approximately 5 with you and then shut you off, and it's just a continuous process till we have like 20 or 25 pictures. We are full of accepts, and I just always like to save after each one so I don't accidentally make a mistake. And you can probably do the rejects too and then save. Sample saved. Like I said, your finger calluses on these touch screens sometimes do not go together. Then you do the create profile. This is the way I like to do it. It does the little, I call it the Tetris thing. It's creating that data, rear and back, and rejects, but we don't have any set. Now we're going to go into rejects 1. These are spot rejects. Sometimes I have to change it over to area, and I'll go over that later. This is a spot reject. I will now sort out rejects out of the sample, and then we will begin to program those. I only have a small bag to sort, so I'll be putting these back in to the sample after I make my program. I only have this small bag here. Customer has unhulled and stick tights. These are a stick tight. He got half hulled, but he's still stuck in the shell. They've got bindweed or morning glory. I don't know what that is. Could be a mouse dropping or something. More unhulled or stick tights. So we will be running these through now. And this is, they were having trouble hulling this. This is the big seed. I told them they needed to size. They were trying to de-hull bin run. This is a hard variety to hull anyway, they're finding out. There's more impurities that we're hoping to grab with the color sorter. They are hoping to dress these up, and then these are the other ones that are not sized, or these are the small kernels that they hull. So there's a lot more stick tights. When you hull something, you want the kernels to be as even as possible. So they size these, and they got a lot better success. Last year they had a variety that shelled real easy. This year they're struggling with this variety. So we have these impurities that we're going to program into next. Just like with the frame grab, just like I did, I'll do that one time, and then when I do the second reject number 2, I won't video that. It's the same process, and then we should be ready to start sorting. So we have waiting for a trigger, and now we will begin to take pictures of our impurities. Dropping them in the same way. There's a picture. Waiting for the next one. And if you see a picture you don't like, it can be deleted and try again. Another trigger, bindweed. Here's one that's half hulled. We'll see if we get a black picture. We got a picture of both sides of him. So we got a picture of the black side, but the white side also on the front and back. So we might erase him and do him again, because we don't want it to fire at the white ones if we can help it. And I did not have a bucket down here to catch my impurities. Let me put that down there. And we'll have to sweep up before we start again. I do want to reiterate the FMS 2000 2015 model does not have any shape recognition. So just as long as you know that, I'm not selling this as shape recognition machine. Also, I want to reiterate, I am not necessarily the Sataki expert. There's people at Trek Tech Support that know way more than I do, and they can help you with many different things when it comes to color sorting. Couldn't get it to delete there. I will just shoot another picture right over that. Waiting for a trigger, and we should be good, and that will cover both of those. So that's how you take it out. Sorry, I got that wrong there. Okay, so we have rejects 1. I'm going to hit save again. I just like to save my work continually so I don't have to go back and redo it. There we go. Sample saved. Create the profile, does the Tetris thing, and then we're going to create rejects number 2. Reject number 2 is going to, instead of look for spot, be area. And you've seen me create reject 1. It's identical, other than we switch to number 2. Start the whole process again. Take our pictures. I think it's up to 20 pictures. Save it, create profile, and we're ready to sort. So I'm not going to videotape that for you, but it's the same exact process. Okay, rejects 2 is done. going to hit save. Saved it. Create profile. Now we're creating everything. Everything's ready. Now, we're going to go back to accepts. I'm going to go over here. This is a very important step, in my opinion. We got sunflowers. We're going to do that. We have our reject 1 and 2, but we're going to save it over here too, because I have had in the past my rejects not saved, and it just makes you pull your hair out when you got to redo it all. Save successful. Okay, it made us a copy of it. We'll select it. So basically we have 2 copies. See, there it is. Doesn't have them there. So I'm glad I saved it. Very frustrating. We got copy, select. We have our rejects 1 and 2. That way we know we're programmed. It's selecting it. We are ready for an initial sort. One of the things I'm going to do today, right or wrong, is I'm going to go to the frame grabber, go up here to the glass things here, the magnifying glasses. What that does is that checks them. They will be, see, red is what we're going to fire at, so that's good. We've got a lot of red, no blue around this stuff. Blue means, you can't probably see it in there, blue means that we're going to save that. So this is looking like a pretty good setup right now, the way it's looking. Sorting, there's where we can, if we want to know which reject is working the best, you can unplug these like a flash drive. Then it would fire at nothing. You can do reject 1, see if you're set good there, and then you can engage the second one and vice versa. Hope that makes sense. I know I have the screen, I need to unfocus. You can take this and unplug reject 2 and unplug reject 1. Right now it would fire at nothing. And then you can put them back in as you're testing and see which one you're doing. I do feel, because I have a small sample, I can redo this. I am going to, I think it's this level here. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to go from spot to, let's see, yes, this one here, reject 1. I am going to put it on area. And then I'm going to go back to sorting. Nope. Menu, sorting, and reject 1. I am going to open up its pixel or window size to 13. There we go. 13 is there. And I am going to frame grab, reject 1, oops, turn this on, and I am going to window width. That's what I want to go to, 13, window height 13. And then I want to go to pixels. Let's see. I want to make that all the way up to 50. That's what I was changing to begin with. There we go. Now we're looking at 50 pixels, and I think that will give us a good sort. So we're going to get started now. I'm going to put you back on the tripod. I'm going to mix the impurities back in with the smaller sample I have and get you on the tripod and do some sorting. Because I have a small sample, I'm going to go ahead and turn the machine on even though there's no grain in it, and then I will dribble it in from the top. Okay, initial split. Right there is the impurities that it took out. Here is the clean sample. I'll put that back on our aluminum pouring pan. And we'll look at it. Now, I wasn't able to adjust it because I don't have a person here. Now, there is, looks like a stick tight that made it through. But when I would have more and a person here to feed it, I could adjust it. But I am not finding any of those black seeds. There might be a stick tight right there. And looks like a piece of foreign material that's green. So I maybe got that, but once again realize I don't have a lot to adjust it before it's done. So had two things over there we found. Now let's get the impurities out of the bucket. This is what we concentrated. There was stick tights. There was, looks like rodent something. And there was a lot of them black seeds come right out. Now, if I had a lot to run, I could adjust dwell time, how long it blows, and when it blows, the distance. Let me see if I can find that setting for you. Let's see here. No, here it is, ejector. So the delay from when it sees it to when it shoots its air, you can adjust that. It gives you an initial setting. And how long. So you can do that. There's many different things that you can do to affect, if I had a lot to run through there, to affect the cleanliness of it. You might need to adjust the delay from when the camera sees it to when it shoots the air. That can all be adjusted, and you can play with that and sometimes zero it right in. I was cleaning wheat, vetch out of wheat, hairy vetch out of wheat this summer, and it was practically in a whole semi-load. I don't think you were going to find maybe 5 kernels of vetch. The guy was very impressed, but it took me a while to dial it in because I had a lot of flow to work with. Basically, I've got a small Ziploc bag here and I'm out before I can get anything adjusted, but you know that it will work. Going to reiterate this and bag it up. This was the big seed. That's what I got out of the big seed. This is the hearts. We did find 2 things in there, but once again, I don't have enough to get things adjusted. But I think you're going to like it pretty good. I'll put these over here. 2 pieces were found. A stick tight, and I don't know what that is. Now that could have come from me running black beans. Maybe it's pumpkin seed. I don't know. Anyway, bag this up, and then we're going to run the other seed. Okay, we're going to reset our buckets and do the small seeds. They have a lot more impurities in them. And I don't have a helper here to help me today pour it in. So we are going to do the best we can. This should fire. This is the small seeds. I don't know if you'd focus it on them or not. A lot more impurities. They should fire on them a lot more. and we'll see what we get for a one-time through. Please keep in mind this can all be adjusted when you have continuous flow. Nope, let's turn it on. Nothing to hide here. There is the initial, without me making, that's just my initial setup. Look at the impurities in there. And then we still have some in there, but I couldn't do an even flow or do any adjustments. So I think that's pretty impressive for what we started with. I see some black ones in here. Let me zoom you out. I see some black ones, but we're going to run it through again. I wish I had a helper here so I could adjust it, and we'll do it again. There's the impurities from running that first sample. Had a whole lot more impurities in it. So there's that. Now we'll run it through one more time. I'm going to give you a different view. Clean grain comes out there, rejects come out there. We have more impurities and a nice clean sample. So with continuous flow and adjustment, it can be done. This is the highly contaminated sample. I think it's looking really good for what we started with. It's not a huller. There's a stick tight or a small one. See, that needed to be sized out with a cleaner before you hulled. That's the other thing, you got to get them sized. These are tough hulling sunflowers. These are the impurities from the second pass. So you can still see there was quite a bit in there. This was quite a contaminated sample. I'm not trying to make excuses, just showing you what we had to work with. And that will conclude the sunflower testing. Tomorrow on to soybean testing.
This will conclude a thorough test of the Satake FMS 2000. These units are readily available through us here at Commodity Traders International. This has been an in-depth laboratory test for these tough-to-hull sunflowers. If you have any questions or would like a quote on a new FMS 2000, please feel free to reach out to us. A link will be in our description below the video and following the video. For all other seed grain and feed recycling industrial equipment needs, please reach out to us as well. And thank you for watching.